Good morning. This is a new day. And no matter how yesterday went, today can be an incredible journey in life. Yes, it could even be the greatest day of your life. Do you have expectation for this to be a great day? So today, we're going to consider, have you slayed any giants lately? That's kind of different. Have you taken on any giants? And how's that gone for you? So all of us face things in life, right? I want to, before I get into the things slaying in life, I want to see if I can get this to come to the front. I want you to see this picture by Eric Rolfe. Just giving him credit. There it is. Let's see. Transition. This is a double rainbow in Alaska by Eric Rolfe. Anyway, so there you go. Isn't that kind of a cool to look at? Okay, let's see if I can get it back. And here we go. Good. All right, we're back. So there's such beauty in nature at times, isn't there? And there's such harshness and roughness at times too. That's the other side of the whole deal. But anyways, slaying giants. Let's get on with it. Slaying giants. So, I'm experimenting with my stuff here. That's what's going on. We know the record from 1 Samuel. Or if we don't, we've at least heard it or something. Part of that record is in 1 Samuel 17, chapter 17, 41 through 46. And speaking of slaying giants, you have issues with your marriage, issues with your finances, issues with your health. Do you know how you defeat an enemy? You don't defeat an enemy by looking away. Do you understand that? We don't defeat an enemy by looking away. We look to God. We're focused on Him, but we face the issues. You ever heard the little statement, the figure of speech? You got to grow up, or you got to face the music. Well, facing the music is the reality of accepting our Father's truth as the reality for our health, our finances, our marriages, our life, and then living from that is our home plate of reality, and not looking at circumstances to defeat us. Remember when Joshua 1:9 right there, that God told Joshua to be strong of a good courage, be not dismayed, be not disappointed, discouraged, doubtful, to trust that God was with him. God was going to make his way courageous, make his way great. Do you think that God would do less for you and I than He's done for anyone else? Now there's the crux of the matter. Is our expectation less from what we've seen Him do for others? If anything, not only should it be equal, but it should be greater, because in the Old Testament they were servants of God, and we are sons and daughters of God. Okay? We are sons and daughters. So this is 1 Samuel 17, 41 through 46. Nigel, Cheryl, Catherine, all you amazing people. Sure, blessed to have you on here. Here we go. And the Philistine moved forward. This is 1 Samuel 17, 41 through 46. And the Philistine, who is the Philistine? Goliath, right? The Philistine moved forward and came near to David with his shield bare in front of him. And when the Philistine looked out on saw David, he disdained him. Yeah, who are you? For he was but a youth, David, ruddy and handsome in appearance. And the Philistine said to David, am I a dog that you come to me with sticks? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods, obviously not David's God. The Philistine said to David, come to me, and I will give your flesh. I'm going to give your body to the birds of the air and to the beasts of the field. Yeah, A giant comes unto you in life, your circumstances in life, and you're like, man, that situation is looking really difficult. The Philistine said, am I a dog? Then David says, hey, wait a minute. He goes, David says to the Philistine, you come to me with a sword and a spear and with a javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defiled, you have gone against, you've stood against. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand and will strike you down and cut off your head. Have you ever dealt with circumstances in your life with that kind of attitude? That the circumstances that can seem so monumental, yeah, so giant, stand in you like the Rock of Gibraltar or something, they stand in your way, and you go, that's just not possible. There's just no way. Look, David said, this day the Lord will deliver you in my hand, strike you down, and I'm the one that's cutting off your head. There's an attitude to face the giants in our lives. Do we understand it? The monumental. I can't even say the word today. The things that stand our way. There was a movie. Do you remember Facing the Giants? A few years back, 10 years or so ago. I don't know. Back a little way. Facing the Giants. Facing impossible situations, but facing them knowing your victory is in Christ. How do you face your circumstances in Christ, through Christ? Well, if you're doing it through Christ, you're going to see the victory is in your hand, and you're leading in procession the enemy that has tried to defeat you and everything that he has used to defeat you. If the enemy works, the thief works to steal, kill, and destroy, then what do you expect? But take your peace, take your joy, take your love, steal it, crush it, whatever. Well, what about your marriage? What about your health? What about your finances? If we don't stand, now let me correct that a little bit. If I, in my circumstances, do not stand and face what appears to be giants in my life with my eyes upon my God and his supply, sufficiency, making a way, I will be defeated before I even get out the front door, and I may not even go out the front door. People hide behind front doors. Hebrews 3:12 has, well, actually, I want to go to Matthew 11:28 through 30. This is something that I think I've mentioned a number of times, but we're going to read it this time. Matthew 11:28 through 30. Jesus Christ speaking, and really, when you read the word, you should read it. I should read it like it's speaking to me, like my name is in there. Well, that's a nice word for somebody else. No, it's a good word today for you and I. Do we understand that? Okay. Come to me. We're going to come to the realization sooner or later that we've got to come to something in life. What are we going to deal with? But am I going to deal with the things in life through a human perspective, a worldview perspective, or I'm going to deal with it from the understanding and wisdom that God gives? Makes a big difference in having my breakthrough. So Matthew, here we are. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden. You're burdened. You're carrying all the cares of the world, right? And I will give you rest. Take my burden upon you. Of course, it's take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly, humble in heart. Now, do you want to hang around with the people that have all the attitudes in life, or would you rather hang around with somebody humble? Here Jesus Christ, the most humble man who ever lived. I know about Moses as the most meek man on the face of the earth. I guarantee you when Christ came, he was even more so. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. So there's the thing. I take his load, what he has for me to carry, and I learn from him. There's two parts: to carry and to learn, so I can walk out in my new life. If I don't carry what he has for me in life and ministry and vision and purpose, I will be still burdened down with the things of the world. So I'm putting off one, really, and putting on another. Off one, on another. Okay. For I am gentle and lowly in heart, humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Look, you look at politics, you look at religion, you look at world things happening today. There's nothing easy in all that for the most part. I cannot find rest in issues dealing with oil embargoes and finances of countries collapsing and governments failing or whatever. I'm not going to find rest in the world. So I'm getting a new vision because I'm getting a new heart, right? God's going to take out the stony heart, remember the Old Testament, and put a heart of flesh in. So for I am gentle, lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy, my burden is light. Isn't this, if not the greatest, one of the greatest needs in our life today, to have rest in our souls? Well, I'm going to need a new perspective. I'm going to need a new vision. I'm going to need my Father's purpose. For my burden, my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. So today, while it's called today, what are you going to carry? What load in your mind and in your heart will you carry? Will it be one of rest and learning and growing and walking with Christ who lives in you if you're a born-again child of God, born from above? Or are you going to carry what the world has tried to tell you what it really looks like? The truth is what God has declared. I want to finish this in Hebrews. I got two little parts of Hebrews. So there, if you got to go, that's okay. Go do what you got to do today, but do it with a heart to slay a giant, with an attitude of, you know what? I don't know what I'll face today, but I know whatever it is, God is with me, and I am greater than the circumstances of my life. So here, let's finish up in this little two sections. Hebrews 3:12 through 15. Take care, brothers, lest there be in any of you an evil, unbelieving heart, leading to the fall away, departure from the living God. But exhort, encourage, comfort, strengthen one another daily, exhort one another daily or every day, as long as it is called today. Hey, we were saying something about that none of you be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. Now, this hardening is something that's vital, and I hope to bring it out in a moment here. So, for we have come to share in Christ, if indeed we hold our original confidence firm to the end, as he said, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion. When you and I harden our heart, put walls up, try to be something we are not, who we are not, and we're not created to be in Christ, we find that we cannot hear his voice. You cannot hear God's voice if you have an attitude toward your Father. The only attitude is the attitude of gratitude and knowing his love that you share together. Do we understand that? So you want to hear God's voice? You can't have an attitude with your Father. You've got to carry what Christ had, which is to find the rest in our souls, for his yoke is easy, his burden is light, and he's gentle and lowly in heart. That's his attitude of his heart. And yet, like David and Goliath, he knew when he had to stand, he stood. And isn't that what Ephesians 6:12, 10:12 through there? Having done everything to stand, stand therefore with your life, your loins, your being girt about by certain things, right? Let's finish in Hebrews 4:1 through 3, right down from where we're at. Therefore, while the promise of entering his rest still stands, the promise of rest in God still stands. Now that's some ground I can stand on. And I know when I'm in turmoil, and I know when I'm at rest. I know when I've cast my cares and I'm anxious for nothing, and when I'm not. It tells me if I'm living in that presence of God, doesn't it? I'm at rest. I'm at peace. So therefore, while the promise of entering his rest still stands, it still is real, living, and stands today. What are we going to do about it? Let us have this great, deep reverence, awe of God, lest any of you should seem to have failed to reach it. Seem to have failed. Maybe circumstances shouldn't tell us whether we're attaining or losing ground. Gaining ground, losing ground. For the good news came to us, just as to these others. But the message they heard did not benefit them because it was not mixed, King James, united, combined with faith with those who listened. For this is like wham, the heavens are opening, the clouds are parting, the sun is shining, the rainbow. If you saw the beginning of the video, you saw the double rainbow behind me there. Okay. For we who have believed, do we have a strong confidence in God? Or is our confidence on shaky ground? It should be on solid ground, shouldn't it? So we who have believed enter that rest. If you're going to face the giants of this world, you're going to have live in the rest that God through Christ has brought to us. If you're going to face things in marriage that are difficult times, or difficulty in finances, or difficulty in health, you're going to have to, and so many, mentally, you're going to have to be in God's rest. So we declare today healing in bodies. Right now, this is the common thing they do, but it's good. If you have an issue in your body right now, I want you to put your hand where, you've got neck pain, you've got digestion issues, if you got knee pain, put your hand there right now, or your hands. Okay? We declare right now, as you are taking action, that deliverance is now manifested. Healing in your body, wholeness coming forth, freedom and liberty in Christ, because the price was paid. It's not deficient. It's sufficient for today. And so pain leave, infirmities go, and life manifest, because that's God's promise for you. So slay the giants today that stand in your way, and live in your Father's rest always.